talking to Tom Naumann from SINNER. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, hello. Hope all is well over there.
Yes, we're going along okay. Now, I've been fortunate enough to listen to this album, which you've got coming out very soon, entitled Brotherhood. Tell us all about it, how it came together, who you roped in, how long it took. Tell us all that you can.
I sat down with Matt in his kitchen and we started talking about writing and releasing a new SINNER album in September, October 2020. And then I came home and then I started to write songs. And the mission was that we would like to do music that we did already in the 90s, like more heavier and more longer songs. And we released albums like Bottom Line, Judgment Day, and especially Nature of Evil. And we wanted to catch the vibe and the emotion and the spirit of those songs. And we tried to move it to 2020 and 2022. And yeah, and I started writing songs in November. And so I did send my ideas to Matt, and then we talked about it and we changed something. Matt started doing vocal lines and lyrics and all that stuff. And then we were finished by the end of February, beginning of March with all the songs.
Now, with both you and Matt being in Primal Fear as well, as far as the songwriting goes, is there ever an occasion where you're writing a song and you're thinking, oh no, that's more Primal Fear?
No, never.
No?
Never. No, because I think that writing songs for both bands, it has a different approach. Like Primal Fear is more power metal, stuff like that, and you play more faster double bass stuff, and you have Ralph as the metal siren, like all the time, and so that's totally different to SINNER. SINNER is like more heavy rock and more some bluesy influences, also some Thin Lizzy influences in it. So the songs are slower, not that heavy double bass parts, like slower double bass with a lot of catchy melodies and twin guitar stuff. So I never had the thought that I wrote a song for SINNER, which I thought, oh, that should have been for Primal Fear, because normally when we write for Primal Fear, SINNER has a break, and when we write for SINNER, Primal Fear has a break. So for me, it's pretty easy to separate both bands when it comes to the songwriting process.
I want to talk about one song in particular, and that's The Last Generation.
Yes.
You're probably going to hear this from a lot of people, but that is just such an epic song and just really gets stuck in you very quickly. Tell us about that one, how that came about. Was that you? Was it Matt?
Yeah, as I told you, I started coming up with most of the music ideas, and I recorded it, and we had some long epic tracks also in the 90s with Nature of Evil or Question of Honor. And so I thought about, I got this beginning of that with this acoustic guitar, and then yeah, I thought it would be cool to add some orchestral parts in the middle of that song. And then yeah, like I'm not a really good keyboard player, or I'm not really good in creating orchestral parts, but you know, I have something in my mind. Then I record it with the melody, I record with the guitar, then I have my 2-finger system for the computer doing all the trumpets and all the violin stuff, blah blah, but that's not good enough. And then I asked a friend of mine from Switzerland, and he helped me. Then it sounded way better, and so we said, oh, that's a nice idea, we should keep it. And then we asked Oliver Palotai from the band Camelot, and he lives like 25 kilometers away from my hometown. He's a German dude, and he's really good in doing this orchestral stuff. And so I talked to him, and I said, this is the part, I would like to have it like that or this, and you can change it here and there and bring in your own influences. Yeah, and then he recorded it, we got it back, and we had to listen, and it was amazing. So like, yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. So so we put it on the album. Yeah, and then we also asked Tom England from Evergrey if he would like to add some of his amazing vocal. And yeah, and that was the song.
As soon as you hear that song, you just know something something great is coming. So that's
Oh,
my
thank
favorite on
you.
the album. Congratulations. What other tracks on there did you want to tell me some stories about? There's some good rockers on there.
Just like
Bulletproof and Brotherhood for a starter.
Yeah, I think Brotherhood, I think the title speaks for himself. And when you listen to the lyrics, I think it's about the friendship of Matt and I, because we know each other for more than 30 years right now. I'm playing in the band Sinner since 1988 with some on and offs. And we started or founded Primal Fear together with Ralph Shapers. And this band exists for 25 years right now. So yeah, we have a pretty good friendship over this time. And yeah, also the band, like I know Alex Schott, the other guitar player, for more than 20 years, when he used to play in a small band from Stuttgart called Dasha and the Weapons of Mass Destruction. I was their booking agent. I'm playing with Marcus Kuhlman together in an AC/DC tribute band for like 6 years. Matt and Marcus, they are playing together in a band called Voodoo Circle for a long time. So we know each other for a very, very long time right now. And yeah, and we spend our time not only on stage, also off stage. And it's not only, yeah, we're not only connected when it comes to music, we also have a private life, and we do meet very often. We're having a barbecue, we're hanging out, watching soccer together, or having just a couple of beers, and we're having a talk and we're having a laugh. And so I think that's the title, Brotherhood. And Matt wrote a song or the lyrics to it.
Fantastic. Did any sort of lockdown affect the recording of this album at all, or were you managed to carry on in your regular path and get through it?
Like as the pandemic started, you know, like we were forced not playing shows or tours or festivals anymore. Everything was shut down. And so we are not allowed to practice together or even to meet each other. So we started writing songs at home. And but the pandemic made us come together more close for all the band guys, because all of a sudden you do not earn any money anymore because you were not allowed to do your job. And so we decided that when we do an album, we will also help our friends. So we went into the studio from our tour manager, Basi Röder, and recorded the drums there and some guitar parts over there, so he could earn some money. Then we went to our friend Jakob Hansen from Denmark, who already mixed some Primal Fear and Sinner albums. And we said, hey, Jakob, please mix the album again. And so he earned some money. We asked Oliver Palatine to do the keyboard parts. So he was involved in the recording process. And then we asked a lot of friends if they would like to participate on the album and singing us some stuff. So yeah, it was not really like that the pandemic influenced us a bit when it comes to the songwriting stuff, but it sort of helped us when it comes to record the stuff, because we did some stuff that we normally never do, like going into a studio of our good friend Basi Röder and hang there for a couple of days and do stuff together, or ask a lot of people if they would like to sing on our album. So that was the positive part of the pandemic, so that we asked a lot of friends to be involved if they want to be involved on that album.
There's a pretty impressive guest list
yeah,
featured there. So that's good that everyone got a gig, so to speak.
Yeah, you're like when you're in the business for a long time, like Sinner released their 18th album, and Primal Fear exists for 25 years right now. So you did a lot of touring and you play a lot of festivals, and you know, you start knowing musicians and you have a talk with musicians on some festivals. 2 weeks later, you meet this guy again, and then you start writing on Facebook, and all of a sudden this guy becomes your friend. And so we had so to say, we really have a list of friends, because we are in the business for so long. And then it was pretty easy to ask our friends if they would like to be part of this album, like Eric Martinson, Tom Englund, Dave Ingram, Ronnie Romero. So we all know these guys for such a long time, and it was a real pleasure to work with them. And it was also pure fun, because we said, you need to sing the vocals over here and you need to do this and that, but feel free to add something if you want to add something. And most of the guys, they came up with some really cool ideas. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we really appreciated working with them.
Can I ask you a personal question? Don't mean to
Sure.
offend you here, but being left-handed, as you are,
Yes.
What challenges did you face early on? A, getting a left-handed guitar. B, did it have any influence on which guitar teacher taught you? Did you have a guitar teacher? I've always been intrigued.
So when I came to school and I was in the first class, I started writing with my left hand. And the teacher always hit at my left hand and said, you need to write with the right hand.
They do that over here. Well, they did that over here too.
Yeah. And so, and my parents, they are both right-handed. And my father was a guitar player and he played with the right hand. So when I picked up his guitar for the first time, I was like the other way around. And so, okay, I'm a left-handed guy. Okay, no problem with that. So, but I started playing guitar like in 1981 or 1982, I guess. And by that time, it was pretty tough to get a left-handed guitar. But if you hang on a second. This is my first guitar.
Your first ever guitar?
This is an Ibanez guitar. That was my first guitar and I still have it.
Excellent.
And yeah, so the thing is that they're, and even if you go in a music store, they have like 200 guitars and probably 3 or 4 of them are left-handed. Yeah. And probably not with a good quality. So it's pretty tough to get some good guitars for left-hand guitar players. And I had a really good guitar teacher. And this guy, right now he's a really good friend of mine, and we play some shows here and there together. And maybe, have you ever heard of Peter Schilling, the song Major Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was a guitar player. So, and I got a lot of lessons. And when Peter Schilling got famous with that song, he needed to stop the lessons because he was so busy with doing other stuff. But he was my main influence when I started. But it was no problem that I was a left-hand guy. And now I'm a guitar teacher by myself, and I have a lot of right-handed guitar players in front of me. But if you're a left-handed guitar,
do you smack them and say?
So, but if you look at a right-hand guitar player and you look at the left hand, it's like looking in a window, in a mirror. Yeah. Not a window. Yeah, a mirror. Like in a window, like a mirror. Yeah, like in a mirror, because it's like the same. Because I play the same chords. They don't look different because I not play upside down. I have the bottom string is up and it's all the stuff. It's all the same. So also when I play a chord, it still goes like this is a C chord, this is a G chord, and D. So it's easy for them to watch it and to play it then, I hope.
Excellent. No, that's great. Thanks for asking that. I was wondering how are we going for time? Right. Are there any funny tour stories, like a Spinal Tap moment that's in your memory that you can tell me?
Way too many to mention, because when you're on tour since 1988, there's so many funny and crazy stuff happened in my life, and it's unbelievable. And we all had these Spinal Tap memories when, like, you play the show and then you need to go outside of the venue and walk out of the venue to get to your dressing room. And the show was over, we opened the door to get outside, and it was raining cats and dogs, and I was the last guy. So everybody went into the venue, to the dressing room, and just in front of me, the door closed. So, and there was just only a knob. It was like, I was thinking, I was pissing, I was like, hey, open the door, but nobody listened, nobody heard it because it was still crowded inside. And yeah, so I had to walk back. And luckily the backliners, they just opened the door to get the gear into the bus. So I was back in there. I was totally wet. And then I needed to walk through the audience to get to the dressing room. And it was like, this was like this Spinal Tap moment. Like, why is there only a knob? It would have, yeah. So, and we had a lot of fun stories, but no, we do not have enough time to talk about it because it would fill a complete evening or a complete week. So many funny stuff that happened on a tour bus, in a city, on festivals, on an airplane. We have so many fun things to tell. But it's a good thing about being a musician, because if you live a life like that, okay, it's sometimes it's really exhausting, because playing is cool, but sometimes the traveling could be really a pain in the ass. But if you live like a healthy guy and not overdo anything, then it keeps you young somehow, being a musician, because you're only talking about funny stuff, you're laughing all the time. You met a lot of people that are way younger than you are, because we are old farts right now, because we're like 40 years in the business, and young bands are coming up, but you meet them and you have a talk with them, and that keeps you young. That's the most important thing. You know, like staying young, feeling young, that's cool. Okay, sometimes it's aches in the morning when you have to get up, but yeah, you have to get used to that.
Oh, yeah. We're just about out of time.
You got this Ian Gillan shirt on. Ah, okay. He's such a nice and funny guy.
He is, yes. He played here 1981 on the Future Shock tour.
Ah, okay.
And for many, many years, it was the loudest gig I'd ever heard. It was
really
fucking loud. It was. It wasn't until Slayer came along that they beat it for volume. Gillan were louder than Motorhead.
Oh, and Manowar.
Hey, we're just about out of time. Brotherhood coming out July 15. Excellent. I love it. And looking forward to that official release. Best of luck with it. Thanks for joining me today. Can I get you to get the horns, if you don't mind, straight up in the camera for us? There we go.
I really appreciate talking to you. It was really nice and funny.
I aim to please.
Yeah. So stay safe, stay sane, and celebrate life. Take care of yourself and to all your beloved ones. Hope to see you somewhere on. Yeah, hope to see you somewhere on tour.
Thanks for having a chat with us. Good luck with the album.
Sure.
And
thank you very much.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks,
bye. Ciao.